So there comes a point in your life where you have to become an adult. You have to become a grown-up. There is no more sleeping in. There is no more skipping class. There is no more staying out late on a Wednesday night just because you want to.
We're going streaking! Yes!
You have to do that adult thing. You have to become a grown-up. But the ironic thing about becoming a grown-up is that there are these certain things, these certain expectations that grown-ups are supposed to do, that they're supposed to have. But the ironic thing about some of these behaviors and some of these expectations is that they are actually keeping you broke. They are keeping you poor. They are preventing you from achieving wealth and becoming rich. And today I want to highlight what are these 8 grown-up behaviors, these expectations that are keeping you poor. We're going to find out what these are right now. So let's check it out. It's funny, whenever I graduated college and I started my career, I was supposed to be a grown-up. Now, at the time, I was still living in a house with 3 other dudes. My wife, which at the time was my girlfriend, she also was living there. So I was sharing rent with them. I had a job, so I had to be somewhere at a certain time. I had to dress up, I had to look good, and I was an adult. I was a grown-up. It didn't really feel like I was a grown-up. I mean, I felt like I was a little bit more responsible, but I still was hanging on to some of those fun behaviors, some of those fun activities that I enjoyed in college, maybe a little bit too much, but I finally got away from those and I became a grown-up. And there were these certain expectations, like the certain stigma of things that you were just supposed to do now because you were a grown-up, because you weren't in college anymore, because now it was time to get serious. And a lot of these things, when I look back on, I mean, they really weren't things that were making me a better person. They weren't making me more rich. They weren't helping me obtain wealth. They were just things that were expected of me. And here are some of those things that I want to share with you that most likely you are partaking in, and they are keeping you from really achieving the level of wealth that you should be achieving. So what are some of these grown-up behaviors that you are participating in? So number 1, happy hour. So you are off work, you are ready to go just kind of chill a little bit, you're just trying to unwind from the job. So you go to happy hour because all your coworkers go, because that's a place to mingle, that's a place to network, that's a place to unwind. Do you know how expensive that can be? So we're not even just talking about the food aspect, but just drinks alone, depending on where you live, you could be spending anywhere from $5 to $10 for a drink. And the average price in America for a drink is $10. Now, you living in the Midwest, you're like, wait a second, I can drink Coors Light for like $2.50. True, but if you're going to New York, if you're going to LA, if you're going to Chicago, you are spending much more than $2.50. You're spending anywhere from $10 on up to $15, maybe $20 for a drink. But let's just say that we're using the average price of $10 a drink. Well, if you are buying 3 drinks a day, 5 days a week, you are spending $150 every single week on alcohol. So $150 a week, that's $600 a month. That's over $7,000 a year that you're spending on drinks, on booze. We're not even talking about the weekends, and that's just if you're spending $10 a drink. Are you one of those that is notorious for wanting to buy shots for the entire bar? Or maybe it's just your coworkers. Shots for everybody. Everybody needs a shot. You might think I'm crazy saying that you're spending $150 a week on alcohol, but hey millennials, guess what? You have won the prize for spending the most amount of money on alcohol. Right now, you represent 35% of all the beer spending and 42% of all the wine purchases across the United States. That's how much alcohol you are spending, how much you are buying on an annual basis. There was one Reddit user that became very aware how much they were spending each month on alcohol and also coffee. So they made a commitment that they were not going to spend any of their money on alcohol or coffee, and they were able to identify they could save up to $1,000 every single month by not buying booze and caffeine. That's how much money that they were wasting on liquid. All right, so when you're spending money on drinks, when you're going to happy hour, chances are you'll want to dress to impress. You'll want to look good. So you're spending a lot of money on upgrading your wardrobe. It's estimated that Americans spend between $200 to $300 a month on clothes. So we're talking $2,000 to $3,000, almost $4,000 a year on shirts, on pants, on shoes, on purses, on whatever. Yes, I understand that we're coming out of college, and I used to shop at JCPenney, so I had a lot of JCPenney clothes. Don't judge JCPenney. Don't judge the JCPenney. So starting my career as a financial advisor, I had to upgrade. But I didn't have to go out and spend top dollar on ties, on dress shirts, on suits. Case in point example, there was this tie that I really liked. It was at a department store. I remember it vividly. It was yellow. It had baby blue dots. It was so pretty. But the tie was like, I think $50 or $55 for a tie. I mean, at the time, I'm still living on a college budget. I couldn't justify spending $55 for a tie. Fast forward about a week, maybe 2 weeks later, I go to TJ Maxx, one of my favorite stores. And what do I find in the tie section at TJ Maxx? I find the exact same tie for $14.99. We're talking a savings between $35 and $40 just because I went to a discount store instead of paying top dollar. And that's where I bought a majority of my dress shirts, my slacks, my ties, my shoes. I always made sure to try to buy something. If I was buying something, it was always going to be on sale or it was going to be at a discount store. So you can save money. All right, the number 3 grown-up behavior that you're probably using to pay for those shots at happy hour, that you're using to pay for your wardrobe upgrade, is your credit cards. You're a grown-up now. You're supposed to have credit cards. You probably already opened a credit card when you were in college because you signed up to get a free blanket or a cooler or whatever they give you nowadays. So you already have your credit cards because now you're a grown-up, and that's what grown-ups do. But did you know that it's reported that credit card interest accrued, that was accrued last year, was over $104 billion. That's right, people accrued over $104 billion of credit card interest. That is over $20 billion more than Warren Buffett's net worth. That's how big this number is. So if you are going to be a grown-up, yes, you should use credit cards. You can use credit cards, but you have to pay them off each month. And if you use them wisely, you can use them for reward points. Reward points, if you use them right, you can use it for travel, cashback, a variety of things. There are so many things to use for reward points. You can actually watch one of my other videos where I share how we use reward points to take a trip, and we got our airlines, our hotel, and a rent-a-car all paid using our reward points. And since that video, we've gone to Puerto Rico, we've gone to Chicago, all utilizing our reward points. So it is possible, but you gotta be smart. A grown-up uses a credit card, but you pay it off every single month. So how about this one? I'm sure that your parents probably told you that you need to save. You need to open a savings account. You need to save for the future. Yeah, okay, so you're a grown-up now and you have a savings account. Yay, you have a savings account. So most grown-ups, we are used to using brick and mortar banks. You drive to the bank, you open up a savings account, you make a deposit, you cash your check. That kind of still happens sometimes, but most people now, everything is done online. Having a brick and mortar bank is not a horrible thing. There are certain relationships that you can only get from a brick and mortar bank. Most likely you're only using that brick and mortar bank to deposit your check, cash that check, take that cash, go to happy hour and have a good time. Woo! And that's really it. And if that's the case, you might want to check the interest rate that you're getting paid on your deposits with that bank, because traditionally brick and mortar banks are going to pay you a lot less than what you could get elsewhere, like an online bank. So I was doing some research on this and I found that my bank was paying me 0.05%. That's correct. 0.05, not 0.5, not 5 point. 0.05% on our savings account, which is nothing. We were making nothing on our savings, and just doing a quick Google search, I found several online banks that were paying anywhere between 1.5% as high as 2% on their savings account. So if you are using a brick and mortar bank for your savings and you're only making 0.05% like my bank is paying, you are losing money. And if you want other information on other options besides brick and mortar banks, you can watch my other video where I talk about 7 traditional bank alternatives that you can put your money in and make more than the brick and mortar bank is paying you, or should I say not paying you. All right, number 5, and can I just say,
I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
that's right, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, congratulations. Blow out that candle, make a wish. Let's have a good time. Okay, it's not so much you celebrating your adult birthday, but there comes a time when you have children. And when your child has their birthday, you're going to celebrate their birthday by throwing them a birthday party. And you won't believe what parents spend nowadays on birthday parties. Like, it just blows me away. It was reported that over 26% of the average family will spend $500 on their child's first birthday. We're talking birthday number 1. Let me tell you something, parents. Do you think that your 1-year-old is going to remember their first birthday? Do you think that? Do you? Do you? They're not. They're not going to remember. They're not going to remember the first cake that they ate. They're not going to remember the pony that you bought them. They're not going to remember the clown that you paid to show up and scare everybody else. There is no point spending $500 on your kid's first birthday. And I will go as far as to say it's not worth spending $500 for their second, their third, their fourth, and maybe their 5th birthday. There was a study done over the UK, and it's estimated that British parents will spend over $28,000 on their kids' birthdays from birth until 21 years old. Over $28,000. Are we on what? I mean, how much birthday cake can you buy one kid? I mean, seriously, $28,000. That might seem like the grown-up thing to do because you want to throw your kid a birthday. Like, no. Buy him a cake, buy him a card, buy him a gift, take him to the park, go in the backyard with a wiffle ball bat. You're gonna save a whole lot more money. There's no sense spending $500 on your kid's birthday. Stop, especially, I mean, what if you have more than one kid? Sorry, I'm getting a little stressed out. All right, number 6, you're a grown-up now, which means you get to buy grown-up stuff, you know, like a washer and dryer, a refrigerator, a dishwasher, a toaster oven, maybe an espresso machine. No, you don't really need an espresso machine, but you get to buy these things. And anytime that you buy an appliance, what is always offered at the end that just seems like the grown-up thing to do? An extended warranty. If something happens to said appliance, you can bring it back and we'll give you a new one. You just have to follow these 27 steps. Give a blood sample, a DNA sample, tell them your PIN number, and then maybe they'll give you a refund. Can you tell I'm a little bitter towards extended warranties? Sorry, my bad. You have to realize that companies don't make their money off the spread on making and producing these appliances and selling them to the consumer. The money is to be made in these extended warranties. It's estimated that 60% of all profit from most of these companies come from the extended warranties that you don't use. So you buy it and you don't use it, guess what? They make money because you gave them money for something you didn't cash in on. It's also reported that Best Buy made 80% of their profits all from their extended warranties. 80% of their profits from extended warranties bought and paid for by consumers that didn't use them. I'm sure there are some times where buying that extended warranty could make sense, but a majority of the time, by the time you need a new product, whatever you bought, 2 or 3 years later, it's already out of date and it's actually cheaper or easier to go out and buy a new one or find a used one. So stop wasting money on extended warranties. It's not worth it. It's not a smart grown-up thing to do. All right, number 7, you want to live the American dream. You want to get out of that rundown dump of a college apartment and you want to buy a house because that is the grown-up thing to do. But here's the thing. Just because you're a grown-up, just because you have a job, doesn't mean that it's time for you to buy a house. It doesn't mean that you are in a financial position to buy a house. Now, I can hear the argument that most people will say, well, if I'm renting, I'm just throwing money away. At least I'm building equity by buying a house because I'm paying down that mortgage. But here's a couple things that you don't realize. One, if something happens in said house, it's on you to fix it. So if a light bulb goes out, if you have a water leak, if the AC goes out, if you have to replace anything or everything, that's on you. You don't have a landlord to call to fix it. Issue number two is that when you are making that mortgage payment that you think that you're just not throwing money away, the reality is that most of that mortgage payment is being applied to the interest, not the principal of the home. It's going to take you several years before you actually pay off any of that equity, where you have any equity in that home. And what happens if you change jobs? What happens if you want to move? What happens if you buy at the wrong time? It's the peak of the real estate market and now your house is upside down because you bought it when you shouldn't have, when you should have rented. Well, it might sound like the grown-up thing to do to buy the house. The reality is that the grown-up thing to do is to continue to rent, to keep your options open, to not be locked down to a mortgage payment for 30 years so that you can be nimble. So if you change jobs, if you want to move, if something happens, you've got flexibility versus being stuck in this asset that could depreciate, that could appreciate, that you could have to try to sell it in foreclosure. There are just so many other things that could happen that could ruin you financially if you're stuck in a house that you shouldn't be in. Whew. Did you get all that? I need a water break on that one. All right, number 8, the last one, and this is one that I could do a video by itself on, but the grown-up behavior that is costing you so much money is the dreaded car payment. You're an adult now, so you need reliable transportation. You need something that's going to get you from point A to point B without having to worry if it breaks down. I hear so many people make the argument that they have to have a brand new car to get them to work, when it's like, really? It has to be brand new? It has to be brand new? Like a used car is not reliable? It just doesn't make sense. Right now it's reported that the average car payment in the United States is $499 per month. $500 per month is what people are paying on cars. That's not including insurance. That's not including the upkeep, oil changes. That's not including putting gas in that car. And here's the part that sickens me even more, is that the average length of every car note is 67 months. What happened to the 3-year lease, the 5-year lease? Now people are taking out a car loan greater than 5 years. It's reported that 1 out of every 4 new car purchases are financed for greater than 72 months. Like, nobody is taking out a 5-year note anymore because they just want to afford the payment. Listen, just because you can afford the payment each month doesn't mean that you are building wealth. That means you're just throwing money away. And the last time that I checked, throwing money away, flushing money down the toilet is not the grown-up thing to do. So these are 8 grown-up behaviors that are costing you money. These are preventing you from building wealth. They are keeping you in the poorhouse. Are you guilty of any of these? I'm guessing you probably are. If so, if you're brave enough, share what that behavior is in the comment below. What are some other grown-up behaviors that are costing you money, or you see costing your friends and your family money? Share that in the comments below too. I'd love to hear, I'd love to read the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, come on board, come on the train. We're gonna have fun. We got more videos coming. I love you, I appreciate you, I appreciate all that you do. Like, share, all that fun stuff. This is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Peace. I was able to use reward points to use, I can't talk today. Cash that you checked and now go to, oh my gosh, I can't talk. I can't talk anymore, people, I can't talk. That made no sense.